Happy Friday. I'm Tristan Winder in the News 2 streaming studio at the Morning Pulse here on this April 4th, 4/4/2025. We begin with an update now on the future of winner-take-all here in Nebraska. We've learned the first-round debate of LB3 is scheduled for this coming Tuesday. Right now, Nebraska is one of two states that divide its electoral college votes. This bill would change that. The Speaker of the Nebraska legislature announced to lawmakers that they will debate for hours Tuesday afternoon, with plans to vote on the bill after that. They'll certainly track this details on this winner-take-all, as obviously this is big news impacting presidential elections. And not only has implications on the great state of Nebraska, obviously, as well. But speaking of the great state of Nebraska, Secretary of State Bob Evnen will go on a trade mission to the Middle East and North Africa. The delegation will go to both Israel and Egypt in October and November of this coming year, promoting agriculture and medical technology. For example, the region is very interested in center pivot irrigation. Secretary Evnen says one of Nebraska's companies has sent around 1,200 systems to the region related to the irrigation systems that they've expressed interest in. And this upcoming trade mission will mark Secretary Evnen's 7th trade mission since 2019. Secretary Evnen going to be in North Platte today. We're going to sit down with him here at our News 2 studio late this afternoon. We'll have more early next week, and of course, that'll be on air and online at KNOPnews2.com. A UNL professor is peeling back the layers on tariffs, and tells us that it's a common misconception in other countries who are paying the price. In reality, it's U.S. businesses and consumers who pay the price, according to a UNL professor. He says the idea of tariffs is to get businesses to buy and manufacture domestically, but tells us there's a number of industries that cannot just cut themselves off from the rest of the world. Again, that is according to a UNL professor who's breaking down the science behind tariffs. You can find our full interview with him on our website as well, KNOPnews2.com. The Nebraska Family Alliance has recognized a couple from the Nebraska Panhandle for being married for 75 years as one of Nebraska's longest married couples. Mr. and Mrs. Gerald Skiles of Scottsbluff were nominated to the NFA's Nebraska Marriage Hall of Fame during National Marriage Week in February by their son-in-law, John Chain. You can see this is a family that has definitely blossomed since the original two set off in their holy matrimony back in 1950 in Mascot, Nebraska. They honeymooned during a blizzard in the Tri-Cities, specifically over in Kearney. Quite interesting. Beekeepers are sounding the alarm over dramatic spikes in honeybee die-off. Hundreds of millions of bees have died in the past several months, and it's unknown what's to blame, according to experts. Beekeepers said that the impact may soon be felt on not only farms, but also at your local grocery store. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has said to avoid using pesticides during midday hours, which is when bees tend to forage for pollen and nectar. Planting pollinator-friendly plants such as red clover and bee balm can also help in this ongoing situation of a historic bee die-off that could have an impact on the prices you're paying for some products, of course honey being the main one, at the grocery store, and obviously that could have an impact as well this coming spring and summer with farmers markets. The clock is ticking for TikTok. A bipartisan law is set to ban it over national security concerns unless its Chinese parent company sells it by Saturday. The White House says it's working on a deal to keep TikTok on U.S. app stores. Under the U.S. law, the company that owns TikTok must sell at least 80% of ownership to a non-Chinese company. China seems reluctant to allow that, but President Trump is floating the idea of using tariffs as leverage. A deal also must meet two other requirements. The first is TikTok cannot incorporate on data sharing. There we go, due to privacy concerns. The second key component is that the company that owns TikTok cannot control the TikTok algorithm for fear that China could use it to influence Americans. That's a sticking point that President Trump once proposed addressing with a lease agreement. Lastly, today, one American automaker is now offering employee pricing on many of its vehicles to all customers across the U.S. The new initiative from Ford went into effect Thursday and will run through June 2nd. It comes after a 25% tariff on all imported vehicles. Ford says it's offering the deal In the midst of the uncertainty that many Americans are facing with the ongoing tariffs, the automakers do not have exclusive offers in this employee pricing. Specifically, Mustangs and Bronco vehicles, Raptors, as well as the 2025 Expedition Navigator SUVs are not eligible for employee pricing. Customers also will not be able to get the offer on Super Duty trucks. But again, quite interesting. Ford, an American automaker, now offering employee pricing to all customers across the nation. Rounding out the week here on the Morning Pulse, well, I don't know where February came from. We're into April. Rounding out this first full week of April, Morning Pulse here on KNOP News 2 with a check of the 7-day forecast. A little gloomy to start the day, and it looks like that's kind of continuing here into the afternoon. 45 the high today, chances of showers continuing. Sunshine tomorrow with warmer temperatures, and the warm temperatures continue into early next week. It looks like we could see a trend that brings us into the upper 60s and low 70s. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday.